So there's some progress being made over in the Vader property. Dropped off the porta potty.
The important part.
I sent Joe a picture. Oh, here we go.
Like,
Test, test, test. Now we'll try. Sounds good. It's not working. Test, test, test. That'd be good. Yeah.
hey, bud. Hello.
Oh,
Okay.
hello.
But don't wait till the last second to.
I know.
If there won't be any public comment at this
Okay.
meeting, we're all finals. We don't have to review minutes.
All right.
Yesterday, tonight. That's fifth. Peter.
Hello,
Hello.
Hello.
how's everybody doing?
What are you doing here?
Nothing.
He's hoping to quit meeting us like this. What kind of book do you have up here? Now that you are a Florida resident, I'm sure
I've only got one boat.
you're hauling it back and forth.
No, I don't take a boat down. We want a boat down there, we rent one or, you know, charter one or something, but it's more, too expensive. Hello.
Hello.
Now, I know you told me where you're located down there, but I forgot.
Oh, it's in Fort Myers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got a brother down there.
Yeah, it's too expensive to put a boat down there.
Well,
You gotta store it, you gotta insure it, you gotta have a place to put it.
last year wouldn't have been a good year to have a book down there. Anyway.
That's much.
Still a lot of them scattered around the mangroves down there. Still haven't been.
Still?
Oh, yeah. And you get you know, long reaching cranes to pull them out and things like that.
At some point, they probably won't get them out, right?
Yeah. There's one down there that ended up at a bar, you know, a restaurant. It was up on the water, and the boat came in, and they have docks there, and they have pillars, you know, like we have on, you know, big pillars, whatever. The boat was impaled on top of the pillar. And it was too expensive to move it, so they just built a railing around it and put tables and chairs around it, and it's now part of the fixture of the restaurant.
Part of the ambiance.
Yeah. So cheaper than moving it, I guess.
Kind of like that old Coast Guard boat that used to be down at Silver.
Right, exactly.
I did see that on Craigslist.
That boat?
Yeah, 2 years ago, somebody was selling it as a project boat.
That's a project, all right.
That would be true.
Never moved that. Keep grabbing the mouse like that.
Mhm.
So somehow or another, the notice that went out indicating the 4 items for this meeting, you said that Gerber's understanding of what was offered was that it was, the public was not invited. They interpreted it possibly as the public not being invited to attend.
I think, our contact, Neil, may have had some conversation with Kevin or something, and she thought that maybe, it was only a Zoom only tonight,
Okay,
but, I looked on the website, I didn't see anything that said Zoom only, so.
yeah, no,
But she said she could have mistaken, so
all right,
that's why
all
I
right.
called you, because I just want to make sure.
Well, I went back and looked at it and I thought, gosh, I wonder if if we're not putting it out there in an understandable way. But if it was based on something else, never mind.
Well, the public's always welcome to attend.
Right, because they're open meetings.
The public comment on the final issue, though.
Right.
And all four of these are finals. That's a big deal. Going up there.
Thanks, John. We're expecting Kathy, aren't we?
No,
Oh, no.
this is it. We got a form.
We got a quorum.
Three is over half.
That's right.
Not a big forum, but it's a forum.
That's the just quorum. That's right.
Let's go ahead and get started at 7 o'clock. For the record, this meeting was advertised in the Wayne Times and posted on the village website. We do not have minutes to approve tonight. We did that last night. I know Linda's very efficient, but I haven't looked them over yet. So we start at the top here. Joe. Yeah. Present again. Assuming there's no big changes.
No, well, I just recommend, my name is Joe Vader. I was here 2 weeks ago. We've been a residence in Sodas Point, owned property since 2009. We recently sold that property and we're building, our goal is to build a house on the hill up by the golf course on Bayview Drive. It's going to be a 1,800 square foot approximately, one level grand ranch, 2-car garage, 2.5 bath, 3-bedroom, single family home, which we intend to make our summer residence here for quite a while. And we're looking for final approval on our plans. Plans have not changed. The only thing that's seemed to have changed is that Gerber's put a porta potty on the property, so they're
prepping.
According to John, who I think is listening in, he said they're anxious to get started. So, other than that, there's been no other changes to the plans that I think you guys have received. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't have any questions.
I don't either.
I'm afraid not. So
Don't be disappointed.
can we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the application for the final site plan review, Gerber Homes, 7071 Bayview Drive, to construct an 1814 square foot house per stamped plans.
I'll second that.
Okay. How do you vote?
Yes,
Yes,
Yes. Okay, you can tell John to get started.
Okay, great. But I want to thank the board and, we're excited to get started.
thanks, Joe.
We're excited that you're staying in the community.
yeah,
Oh, yes, we're excited about this, too, that we found something that worked out for us, so we're very, very excited about that.
all right.
Great.
Well,
Thanks
thank
a lot.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. The rest of the night.
All right. Mr. Cowley, you step up. Review the project again, please.
Good evening, I'm Ryan Colley. I'd like to extend our second dock. We jumped through a few different things. I believe we agreed last week that that dock is the second dock and it is the definition of a dock. I think that's about it. This should be pretty 58 feet you're looking for.
Just reviewing the zoning board did say it met the definition of dock. That includes the section that's in the boathouse because it's measured from the shore.
So that means the 58 feet will be measured from the shore.
Correct.
Okay, so you don't want to change that and just,
Well, I'd love to go to the 58 feet from outside, but I don't know if I can do that on this connect.
No,
no,
So it would have to be another application after.
it wouldn't, because then that gets into, you'll be going back to zoning.
Sure. Yeah, so,
It's a lot of fun.
yeah, we'll get this one pushed through hopefully and work on that.
Okay, questions?
Were you successful? Was Kevin successful in determining any of the history behind the construction of the, I'll call it the first dock? And whether at that time the code existed about as it currently exists?
Kevin?
No, I wasn't successful finding any history on it. All I can see is a survey map from 2004. That's all I was able to find, and everything exists in 2004. So I don't know the full history behind it.
Okay. So we don't have any real understanding of whether the code as it existed at the time of the first dock, I'll call it, being constructed, whether there was a restriction for a second dock as it currently exists.
No, I have no idea. I don't have the history of it.
Right. Okay. And you don't have any knowledge on that, right?
Other than my neighbors suggested it's been there before, anything else was done with the house, that whole house has been there for quite some time, 97, I think even been. He said it was all there, but that was as far back as I got on history for it, so.
Okay. Just for purposes of comment, I have a concern that if, without any working knowledge of what may have existed at the time that the eastern dock was constructed, whether it was there was an assessment made at the time that the dock in the boathouse was in fact a dock or was not considered a dock. At this point, we do clearly have a code that says there can't be a second dock on a property unless there's 150 feet of frontage. So I've got a concern that if we do allow an extension of what has now been determined to be that second dock, as I refer to it, that it's going to create confusion on the part of residents that have smaller footprints but want second docks. And so it's gonna be, it's gonna create a precedent that's gonna be very difficult for us as a village. My concern.
Do we know when our code was written for this?
If you have a code book there, it'll say at the top of the chapter, but I believe it was 86 for the dock and mooring law. I can pull it open on the website real fast.
So we don't know if this one's been grandfathered in. So we don't know before 1997.
Right, it was there at that point.
That was the amendment in 99. The original docks and moorings law was 1986. The amendments happened in 1999, 97, and so forth. So 86 would be when we would need to know. But without any information, it's just
Right.
pre-existing non-conforming.
I also share the same concern, because we've had several people on Greg Street
Right.
want to put a second dock, and if, We have- and we've, if everybody there had two docks, it would just look that awful. And I'm also a little concerned about the yacht club. Wasn't there a mooring out there?
There were quite a ways away from us.
Yeah, they're mooring field as well out, but there's one other individual that apparently had a mooring ball in there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Closer, yeah.
It's fast.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's like transferred to his family or. So that's the other thing,
Well, I think anybody can put a mooring ball out in front of their property.
right?
It has to be permanent. Oh, correct. You have to get a permit, or you should.
Yeah, it's like I have
You would have
a,
to get a permit for it.
Yeah.
You may not have to, but
No, it has to be permitted.
And the reason we permit it is it has to go on the sheriff's notice. That's the biggest thing, is the sheriff's put notice on the map, so anyone out in navigable waters doesn't collide with it.
so, right, so at this point, we're not asking for a second dock, we're asking for an extension of that.
Right.
okay?
Right.
right, but it's still, it's the
It's a
perception,
perception.
it's a perception. And I understand your needs but I just,
Kevin, how much,
He's allowed 60 feet with any dock, 60 feet and 8 foot wide.
that's not my question. How much of the existing, how long is the existing dock from the shore?
From what I could tell, I haven't been inside the boathouse. I haven't been able to make time to get down there. From what I measured on pictometry, it's 16 foot is the boathouse. So it's 16 foot, and I think there's 6 foot outside, so that'd be 22 feet that exist today.
So he would be extending 36 feet.
Which I believe is roughly about half of what the other two docks between Bob Strawings and my other dock. So it's actually quite short in there,
So just for my complete understanding on this, because it's an existing second dock, it wouldn't, this is not regarded as a variance
No,
and would not go to zoning
no.
for
As
further
long as
consideration.
it's under 60 total.
Okay,
That's why he said he'd like longer. I said. well,
right. I just wanted to know if that had changed in some respect.
Linda, do you have the motion from the zoning board? Because I'm trying to remember how the zoning board worded their motion on Ryan's application.
No, I don't.
Does Linda have it there on the minutes, or it'd be from the 14th?
that would, this is a good one to see.
from the meeting on the seventh?
14th for zoning board. I was just curious what.
I don't think I have those with me, sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
From what I recall, they determined that it met the description definition of a dock. And that it had to be measured from the shore. That's all I can remember.
That's what I was trying to remember because I felt that they made a motion for approval. I'm gonna watch it real quick on my phone to see.
So it was August 7th meeting.
No, that was
14.
14th.
Oh, 14th zoning. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I want to look
Okay.
up the motion real quick.
Wait a minute, I do have a copy here. And
You do?
want to know what what the zoning board said about,
Yeah, about this one. I know they're draft and they're not approved, so go with a grain of salt on that. But this, I just wanted to hear what the motion was because I couldn't.
okay. What I've got here is Chair Johns read the definition of a dock. He said the dock definition seemed clear to him. There is a stub which could be considered a pre-existing dock. He said there are no other boathouses connected to docks on the Sodas Bay. Several people on the zoning board then said they thought it was a dock. So Chair John's motion to accept the definition of a dock in 86.6 and 86.19, he read from those codes. And it passed that they accepted that definition.
Did they do
So
anything?
Chair Johns then said the big issue is if a pre-existing non-conforming dock is considered a dock, the proposed dock is 58 feet, including the boathouse. And this is when they said the 16 feet, part of the length had to be 16 feet from within the boathouse.
That should include what's in the boathouse plus the stub.
which I think is actually.
Is that what you needed to know?
Kevin, that's what you were looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, I just wanted to know what their motion was that they did.
The motion was to accept it as a second dock.
Yes. Yes. They clearly, the zoning board members clearly thought it was a dock. They kept calling it a stub at first, then they said it was a dock.
All right.
So the zoning board sense then was that it's a dock that exists as a pre-existing non-conforming dock for whatever its existing length
Right.
is.
No, they also made a motion to accept the application though. That's what I was curious if they made a motion for it or if they just left it to you guys. And they had made a motion to accept the second dock, the application is submitted, measuring from the shore.
They did? I didn't catch that from what Linda read. Are you reading something else?
Wasn't that the second motion you just said, Linda?
Oh, I'm sorry, I just put it, wait a second. Yeah. So they made the motion to accept it as a dock.
So not
The
to accept the
motion-
application, but to accept.
Wait, it's after this. So the first.
Motion to accept the definition of a dock. Then they said if there was a dock built, it had to, the dock planned is 58 feet from the edge of the boathouse. But there's water inside the boathouse. They were talking about that. Then they said, Ryan would need to consider the length of the proposed dock, taking off the 16 feet that was part of the boathouse. So it couldn't be 99 feet from the edge of the boathouse. It had to be 99 feet from the shore, basically.
58 feet from the shore.
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
the comment about 99 feet, I think, at that meeting.
Right. So they made the motion to accept the proposal from the proposed water line. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Personally, I'm not thrilled, but I'm side with the zone for you. That's my first.
I think it's gonna open up Pandora's box, and I guess we're just gonna have to deal with that.
I'm afraid so.
Kevin? I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do we have somebody who is like the dock monitor? I can't remember the title
Documentary.
yeah. Is it you, Kevin?
It's me.
Okay, so if people start putting out docks, is there recourse for the village?
Explain, like, do you mean temporary docks? Do you mean permanent docks?
Either one, but if you have somebody who only has 50 foot of frontage and they have 2 sets of docks out there.
Yeah, so we would have to look to see, same thing we did with Ryan. Is this something that just sparked up, like with the application down on the end of Greg Street? That was a new dock being put in as a second dock. And so the way it works is if I get a complaint, I have to go right by the book and see what it says. And if there's nothing in the book that says it's allowed, it has to come out, or they have to apply for it to stay.
Okay. And then what if they just leave it in and don't apply?
In violation, they get a violation letter.
Okay,
And then it's a violation of whatever the chapter is that they're in violation. And at
Okay.
end of every chapter, there's like a penalty for violation.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really want to go against what the zoning board has already determined.
I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah, I didn't understand initially
Yeah,
that the zoning board had accepted the application.
It changes everything.
It does.
Well, I'll be the bad guy.
I thought they were.
I move that we approve the proposal for a 5 foot by 58 permanent dock measured from the shoreline through the boathouse.
I'll second
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
No, thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
We really just need to go through and it's just documents that we thought out everything. So I appreciate your patience.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you not going through the book to laugh.
Thank
Thank you very much.
you.
Okay, Bob, thank you for being patient with us. If you unmute yourself, please.
Okay,
There you go. Like I said, I appreciate your patience. Bud, has there been any changes on your plans?
no, I was gonna go to a 12-foot opening, which is just a height, but the cost increases too much, so we're gonna keep it exactly as it was.
No. That would have been a nice height, but I understand cost.
I understand you've shifted slightly based on the meeting with the zoning board, but
The zoning board asked me to move it over to 5 feet off the line to stay consistent with Carlisle's pole barn, which was exactly 5 feet off the line the other direction. So just in staying consistent, I agreed to it. It's not that big a deal. It's a little inconvenience to me, but I'm willing to work with it.
Well, that makes it nice and easy to get, emergency equipment in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for me?
No, I have no questions.
Nothing more, no.
Okay,
I move that we accept the application for the final site plan review for Ira Bristol at 7115 Central Ave, constructing 18-foot by 36-foot pole barn with the setbacks as determined by the zoning board.
I'll second that.
okay. Mr.
Thank you.
Taylor?
Yes.
Yes,
All right, Bud, you're all set.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good
Thank
night.
Okay, and Mr.
last but not least,
Yeah, okay,
Mr. Vanderwall,
okay.
step on up. And I appreciate your patience.
Not a problem at all.
Been a while since we saw you. So. Have anything changed?
Nothing has changed at all.
The plans look great.
They're nice, improvement.
Yes. Much needed.
but does the dog approve?
The dog will
Okay,
approve.
And this has gone to zoning already and they approved the variance because you're tight on one
Yes.
point. Right.
Yes. And the neighbor also sent a letter approving.
Right.
Yes, we're about that. Okay,
I have no questions.
Neither do I.
neither do I. So who wants to make,
If you make the motion, could you do the same thing Janine did last time with the setbacks as approved by zoning? Because that's super helpful, doing it that way. So it just helps me with my process.
thank you.
Great. I'll make a motion that we approve the application for final site plan review for 8623 Greg Street to demolish the existing structure and to construct the proposed new structure per plans, subject to the setbacks approved by zoning.
I will second that.
Okay,
Aye.
aye. Okay, unanimously passes. Congratulations. Look forward to, you getting started.
Thank you, appreciate it. All set.
Yeah. Where do you start?
First of October.
Oh, super. Who's your builder?
I think it's, my nephew, I'm not sure on that yet, but probably my nephew.
Good luck.
Thank you, appreciate it, your time.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay. And now for our favorite motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
It's fine.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you all coming out an extra day.
And the next meeting is September 5th.
Yes, because of Labor Day.
Okay.
Now, Kevin? You still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Now. Does it look like it's gonna be a heavy load for late, the fifth?
I know you already have 3 finals scheduled for that day. Because you've got Otis Marina, potentially. I'm still working through the county logistics of that one. Today has been a fun day with the county and our attorney over trying to figure out all the logistics of that one. So potentially Sodas Marina, potentially Scott Dangle, and then Penny Shockley. So you already have 3 potential finals.
All right,
And your Rudy. So 4 actually. Your Rudy potentially could be
Oh.
ready.
okay.
So you were able to get on bended knee with the county?
No. They wouldn't accept anything
Okay.
late, but they're now concerned that there's no trigger. It's on the exemption sheet without a variance. It's exempt from county review. So I'm still trying to work that out with the attorney if how that works. Do we need super majority? Do we do something different? What do we do with this? So trying to get an answer on it.
Who makes up these rules?
The county planning board had exemptions from 1993, and I've been following that religiously. And randomly last year, they thought their workload was too high, so they gave us a whole new list of exemptions to 239M. And now they're having like one application or no meetings a month, so they've over exempted themselves.
Wow,
Maybe we should do that.
I don't think so.
All
Thanks,
right.
Kevin.
Yep.
Good
Have a
night.
good night. We'll see you guys later.